Sorry about that. I got shut off for some reason. Um, so anyway, I was talking about goals. I mean, as I mentioned earlier at the end of the last video, a goal should have three things. They should be very specific. Make sure that they're specific. General goals really don't mean a whole lot. It's very hard for employees to get their heads wrapped around those. So make sure that your goals are specific. Make sure that they're measurable. Do not just have open-ended goals. They have to be very, very measurable. And then make sure they're time-bound. You have to say, okay, when is it going to start? When is it going to stop? And if you begin to do those things as you set goals, then I think the employees will at least, they may not agree with what the goals are. Back when I was in the sales organization, of course, I had goals all the time. I had quotas, and I didn't necessarily agree with them, but at least I knew what they were, right? And it's kind of funny because too often today in business, you set goals and other things and then don't tell the employees about them. Funky, huh? So anyway, that's about goal setting, which is discussion board one this week. The application or the assignment presents you with a creative thinking model called Scamper. I like things like this because again it gives you something to associate with. Um, Typically, if it's this long though, Scamper takes too much of time for people to remember. So I normally like to have three or four things in my um, uh, things to remember, but Scamper is kind of a long thing. But nevertheless, I think it's a good process to go through. And so it'll be interesting to see what you talk about in your papers with Scamper. One of the things I used to do at Conagra, I was a senior vice president of sales. There was a senior vice president of marketing, one for um, logistics, one for product development, one for finance. And what we used to do is we had a role reversal day. And on role reversal day, I became the head of R&D or the head of some other department, and somebody else took my role for that day. And part of the reason that we did that is, I'm sure if you've ever been part of an organization, you look at somebody else and you go, I don't know why they're doing it that way. If I was in their role, I would do it this way. And so this gave you a legitimate way to go out that day and put something together, put together an idea on how some other department or how some other leader in that department could do. And it was sanctioned by the president of the division. And by the way, some of our best ideas came out of role reversal day because I didn't have any preconceived notions. Other people didn't have any preconceived notions about sales. They just came out and says, David, why don't you do it this way? And I would look at it. If I looked at it objectively, I'd go, maybe you're right. And so that's one of the Scamper type of examples I can bring forward is role reversal day that we had at Conagra. Um, and then finally, one of the key messages that I hope you get out of lesson 3 and in lesson 4 is to get a full understanding that you don't, let's put it this way. Um, you don't need everybody on the team to be just like you, okay? Heaven help me if everyone in my organization was just like me. What I needed to do was to find people who had strengths in different areas than I did and put them into areas of responsibility so that their strengths could show through. Um, and so as I began to hire people, for heaven's sake, I would look for people who were just fabulous and had strengths in a lot of different areas that I did not. And I gave them responsibilities so that they could shine, they could enjoy what they're doing, and then it would benefit the entire organization. So as you begin to look at these things and as you begin to put hiring mechanisms together in the future for your company, your organization, your department, is to make sure that you look at what is the strength that you need in that position, not whether or not they have a degree, not whether or not they totally think exactly the way that you do, but what type of strength is needed, and then go find that person who has that strength in that area. Okay? Again, sorry for the cutoff in this, and I rambled a little bit on this one, but nevertheless, hope you have a great week. If you need me, make sure you contact me, all right? Take care.